Attention Raiders fans, intense travel in Las Vegas, the front office surprised everyone with an impactful defensive signing. But it doesn't stop there. A Pro Bowl veteran is already in town. In direct meetings with Pete Carroll, and negotiations have been heating up in the last few hours. Who are these names? What are the secret plans behind these changes? Stay with me until the end, because what's happening now could completely change the course of the Raiders' 2025 season. In a surprising and surgical move, the Raiders once again demonstrated the aggressive stance of their front office this off-season. Just hours after being officially released by the Cincinnati Bengals, linebacker Jermaine Pratt already had a new destination, Las Vegas. The deal was finalized quickly with a one-year deal worth $425 million, plus the potential for up to $500,000 in performance bonuses, according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero. The speed of the deal demonstrates the Raiders' front office's determination to waste no time when a market opportunity presents itself. Pratt arrives with a respectable resume. At 29, he is coming off his best statistical season in the NFL, recording an impressive 143 tackles, the most of his career. Despite playing on a Bengals defense that struggled throughout the year, Pratt maintained consistent production. However, his season was not perfect. According to Pro Football Focus (PFF), the linebacker committed 20 missed tackles, a number considered high, and that raises questions about potential coaching adjustments he will need to make under Pete Carroll. Drafted in the third round of the 2019 NFL Draft, Pratt has built a solid and long-lasting trajectory in the NFL. He has 616 total tackles in 96 games, starting 88 of them. In addition, the linebacker has demonstrated durability and reliability in recent years, playing in every regular season game in the last 2 seasons and surpassing the 100-tackle mark in consecutive seasons. This consistent streak has caught the attention of analysts and reinforces the value of his experience to the Raiders roster. Now, in Las Vegas, Pratt joins a linebacker group full of new faces and a fierce competition for space with the arrival of names like Devin White and Elandon Roberts. The internal battle for a starting spot promises to be one of the most intense within the defensive roster. Pete Carroll, known for getting the most out of his defenders, sees Pratt not only as a number, but also as a player who can be polished and elevated to a new level within his defensive system. The big question that is beginning to circulate among fans and analysts is whether Jermaine Pratt still has the same physical strength that made him stand out in Cincinnati, or whether he will need to go through a transition phase and adapt to the style of play required by Carroll. Either way, his arrival adds depth, experience, and leadership to the defensive sector, which could be decisive in the Raiders' quest for a standout season in the AFC. But while the defensive, his ability to read the game, anticipate and cover, man to man, was a highlight. He was one of the most reliable names in the Seahawks secondary at the time. However, after his rookie contract ended in Seattle, Griffin's career began to take off. With stints with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston Texans, Carolina Panthers, and most recently, the Minnesota Vikings. Despite this series of changes, the quarterback showed encouraging signs of recovery. In 2024, he played in all 17 regular season games for the Vikings, totaling 41 tackles and 2 interceptions, demonstrating not only production but also something he lacked in previous years: availability. This visit to the Raiders did not happen by chance, Pete. Carroll knows Griffin's potential like few others and sees him not only as a solid defender, but also as a leader, capable of guiding the young group that currently forms the basis of the Las Vegas secondary. Furthermore, with youth predominating at quarterback, with names like Darian Porter, this year's draft pick, the arrival of a Pro Bowl veteran could provide the ideal balance of experience and renewal. Negotiations continue to move forward, and with few high-level options available in free agency, Griffin could be exactly the choice Pete Carroll is looking for to solidify his passing defense. And if this reunion happens, Raiders fans will be able to relive the old chemistry between Carroll and their former secondary commander, this time under the spotlight of Las Vegas. But the moves don't stop there. Shaquill Griffin's name comes up in an even bigger context, where the Raiders need to make strategic decisions about the immediate future of their defense, and the next chapter could be decisive. But behind this potential signing lies an even more strategic plan. Carroll doesn't just want to bolster the roster, he wants to create a true culture of experience and defensive development. And in this next installment, I'll show you how Griffin can be the key piece, not only to play but to transform the future of this young Raiders defense. Even with several defensive moves already made this offseason, Pete Carroll and the Raiders front office know there's still one missing piece to complete the defensive puzzle: quality depth at cornerback. And that's exactly why Shaquill Griffin's visit to Las Vegas takes on even greater importance at this critical moment in roster construction. Over the past few months, the Raiders have already worked hard to strengthen high-impact positions. But when it comes to the secondary, the aggressiveness has been a little more restrained so far. The biggest addition has been Eric Stokes, a talented youngster who hasn't recorded an interception since 2021. In addition to him, names like Darnay Holmes and some recent draft picks round out the sector, but with a still worrying margin of safety to face the potent attacks of the AFC. That's precisely where Griffin fits in as an immediate impact solution. The experience he brings from his time in Seattle, his proven chemistry with Carroll, based on disciplined game intelligence and the development of young talent, Griffin can not only play on the field, but also serve as an example for players like Darian Porter, who is just starting his career in the NFL. Having an experienced figure in the locker room can accelerate the technical and mental growth of young defenders, something that becomes crucial in long playoff campaigns at this stage of free agency. Few options available offer the package that Griffin brings, and for this reason, the talks between the player and the Raiders have been gaining strength and depth behind the scenes. There is still no official agreement, but the indications are clear. Pete Carroll sees Griffin as a key piece to complete the defensive assembly and prepare the team to face the explosive attacks that the conference presents on equal terms. Now, the expectation takes over the Raiders fans, who follow each update with anxiety. The reunion of Griffin and Carroll in Las Vegas is getting closer and closer to becoming a reality, and if it happens, it could represent the final touch in building a capable defense to surprise the NFL in 2025.